Hello friends, myself Hemant Kumar Maurya, and today I am going to present about introduction of visual impairment. As we know, as per the Act of Indian Constitution, at present 21 types of disability and visual impairment one of them. In this presentation, we will discuss about the basic concept of visual impairment and their types and their definition. So let us start. First thing, what is visual impairment? Visual impairment is an impairment in vision that, even with correction, adversely affect a child's educational performance. It means it is a one type of impairment which affect the vision or capacity of vision that adversely affect child's educational performance. When we are talking about the educational definition of visual impairment, this is the very important definition. It means a capacity of vision is affected or adversely affected. It means that is the visual impairment as per educational definition of visual impairment. The term visual impairment includes both partial sighted and blindness. Partial sighted is known as a low vision and the blindness. These are two terms comes under the visual impairment. As per the RPWD Act, it means Rights of Person with Disability Act 2016, there are two types of visual impairment. One is the blindness and second is the low vision. As we know, in India there is one act, Person with Disability Act 1995, that is very famous act, and the visual impairment also in that act also. But in 2016 new act comes with the name of Rights of Person with Disability Act, and this act replaced the Person with Disability Act. In this act 21 types of disability notified by the government, and one is the visual impairment, and under this two types of disability comes regarding the vision, that is the blindness, and second one is the low vision. As we discuss visual impairment, we can say that the visual impairment is an umbrella term which includes blindness and low vision both. And now question is how we can define or categorize blindness and low vision. There is a problem. To categorize or define blindness and low vision, we can follow the legal definition for both the terms. And to know the legal definitions, before that we should know two very important terms, that is visual acuity and field of vision. On the basis of these terms we can define blindness and low vision. So first we should know visual acuity and field of vision. First, what is visual acuity? Visual acuity indicates how clearly a person can view an object from a fixed distance. Simply, a person stand and look in front, how many distance he can cover, he can see with her own eyes. That distance known as a visual acuity of that person. A standard visual acuity is measured as a 20 by 20 in feet for a normal visual acuity standard, and same thing in the meter, 6 by 6 in meter. It means normally a person whose eye capacity is not any defective, then it should be their visual acuity 20 by 20 in feet and 6 by 6 in meters. Now the second term, field of vision. Field of vision is the area that is visible to the eye when looking at the fixed point, and it is measured in degrees. Here two things important which differentiate field of vision from the visual acuity. Field of vision is the area, not in distance. A field of vision is an area that is visible to eye when looking a fixed point. Suppose a person stand up and fix their head in a position, and what area he cover from left to right and right to left. There is a make a curve or half circle. What area he covered, that is their field of vision, and it is measured in degree. Normally for a normal or average or standard field of vision for a person, that is 180 degree from left shoulder to right shoulder, from right shoulder to left shoulder. There is a 180 degree half circle. That is the area which is commonly a person can see or can look left to right with the same position. If there is any problem in the area of vision, a person fix their head for in a position and he unable to look in the left side in the row of their left shoulder. If they are facing problem or same thing in the right side, it may be a problem of field of vision. So there are two important terms, visual acuity and field of vision. Visual acuity regarding the distance in front of in straight, and field of vision is the area from left to right, what area he covered as a circle, as a arc, and it is measured in degree. Okay, let's come on the types of visual impairment. In the back we will discuss there are two types, blindness and low vision. Now we will define the what is blindness and what is the low vision. Okay, first one, when we want to define the blindness, there is a certain conditions. If those conditions, any one conditions found, then the person will be blind. But these conditions measured after the best possible correction. What are the conditions? First one, total absence of sight. If a person have total absence of sight, he will be blind. And the second condition, visual acuity not exceeding 3 by 60 or 10 by 200 as per Slennon chart in better eye. Here 3 by 60 in meters and 10 by 200 in feet. So what is the second criteria? Visual acuity not exceeding 3 by 60 meter. It means if a person stand in a position and looking in front in the straight, a distance where a normal or normal eyesight person can look or see a object from the distance of 60 meter second person, their visual acuity is not as per standard. For the same object he want to look, uh, he can he go near and near, and 3 meter or less than 3 meter. It means same object looking by a person from a distance of 60 meter, and the same object second person looking the same object 3 meter or less than 3 meter. It means there is a their visual acuity is affected or impaired. In the same thing in fit 10 by 200. This is the second condition for the blindness. If the visual acuity is 3 by 60, not exceeding 3 by 60 meter, then the person will be blind. And the third condition, limitation of the field of vision subtending an angle of 10 degree or worse. Then the third condition, depending on the field of vision. If a person field of vision is 10 degree or less than 10 degree, then the person will be blind. And in the back we will discuss what is the field of vision. There are three conditions: total absence of sight, blind; visual acuity not exceeding 3 by 60 meter, blind; and the third one, field of vision less than 10 degree, then person will be blind. There are three conditions. If anyone found in any person, then that person will be blind. Now the third, low vision. What is low vision? To defining the low vision, there are also conditions. There is a two condition. First one is the visual acuity not exceeding 6 by 18 or less than 20 by 60 up to 3 by 60 or up to 10 by 200 as per Selenium chart in the better eye with best possible correction. There is two things very important. Low vision, it means that person who have the eyesight, and blindness we will discuss 3 by 60 meter, not exceeding visual acuity 3 by 60 meter. But the person who have more than 3 by 60 meter visual acuity and less than 6 by 18 meter, it means if a person visual acuity exists between 3 by 60 to 6 by 18 meter, then the person will become low vision person. And the second condition, limitation of field of vision subtending an angle more than 10 degree and up to 40 degree. It means if a person field of vision having field of vision more than 10 degree but less than 40 degree, it means their field of vision exists between 10 to 14 degree 40 degree, the person will be low vision. If the less than 10 degree, he will be blind. If more than 10 degree but less than 40 degree, then the person will be low vision. So these are certain conditions. On the basis of that, we can legally define the blindness and the low vision as per the RPWD Act 2016. So in this presentation we will discuss the what is visual impairment and the types of visual impairment. With the visual acuity and field of vision, we also define the blindness and low vision with their legal definition, which is mentioned in the RPWD Act 2016. I hope you will getting something from this presentation. Okay, thank you.